Hi, now I'd like to talk to you about how we can take the idea of Georgia O'Keeffe's realism and abstraction and create our own paintings. What my goal is for have you go around your house and look at common everyday objects you think are interesting. You can use pictures off the internet if you want, but I'd almost prefer that you try to look at the objects themselves to create a zoomed in close up view. I want you to think about the compositional elements we just talked about and think about the colors of Georgia O'Keeffe and create your own close-up version of a common everyday object. And that's what our first assignment is. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you and show you a presentation that compares Georgia O'Keeffe paintings to common everyday objects using a very similar compositional element. So on the left-hand side, we're going to see a series of photographs in the term of macro photography. And what macro photography is when a photograph is zoomed in, zoomed in, zoomed in so close that we kind of see a common object in a new and exciting way. So for instance, on the left-hand side, that is actually a Bermuda onion. And so looking at the colors and the shapes of that onion actually have very similar qualities to the enlarged flower version of Georgia O'Keeffe. And so many students who do this assignment like to use fruits and vegetables as a subject matter because they are so beautiful and colorful, but you can choose any objects you want. I will be showing you some student examples who did this assignment, and most of them are fruits and vegetables. It just so happens to be that way, but you're not stuck to that as a subject matter. This is another example. On the left-hand side are butterfly wings, so beautiful close up. You can see the gradients of the colors. You can see the variation within each part of the wing. And then in turn, you can see a Georgia O'Keeffe abstraction that has a similar color and subject matter composition as that butterfly wing. You can use a common object like the top of a soda can. This is a zoomed in version of a soda can, noticing some of the water droplets and the composition. And then Georgia O'Keeffe on the other side did a flower, but her composition is similar and her colors are similar to that of that macro photography soda can. Here, pets are a common one, especially because you often get really close to your pets and see your pets close up. So this is a really cute painting, cute photograph of a cat, and the idea of having that centrally focused subject matter, similar to Georgia O'Keeffe's bone paintings, in which you can see a landscape through it. And here you can see the holes of the nose and the mouth of the cat. Here is a big landscape painting of cliffs by Georgia O'Keeffe, and the composition and the coloring are similar to a close-up version of the wings of butterflies. This could be a little sideways, but the gecko, that is a lizard that's on the left-hand side. You might not notice all the different variations of their skin and the texture of that gecko until you see it really close up. And it has a similar composition of dividing the canvas in half and a similar bit of coloring as Georgia O'Keeffe's landscapes. This is, again, a centrally focused composition and having lines that come out. This is a stem of an apple in relation to a skull on a plant. This is almost the same type of plant, zooming in on the thorns of a rose bush, having those beautiful gradients of the pink and yellow in relation to the stem, has the same type of pink, yellow, and green on Georgia O'Keeffe's painting with the landscape in the background of the sky and horizon line. Her buildings with those little tiny squares of her windows. If you like things that are more geometric, doing something like a zipper shows the interlocking aspects of the zipper, and it conjures up feelings of the little windows she had in her cityscapes. And so what I want you to do is look around at zoomed in macro photography, zoomed in things that you see every day, like a zipper, a can, your cat, some vegetables, and see if aspects of nature like a butterfly wing, see if any of these are inspiring to you. You can paint anything you want as long as it has a variety of shapes for the subject, that it fills the page, and you can technically color it any color you want, because it doesn't really matter if it's abstraction. If you want to color it the realistic color of the objects, you can, but you can also color it your own types of colors. If you wanted purple and green and pink, you could totally do that. It's more about the light and shadow and the composition of your paintings than it is about depicting things in real life. If we wanted to depict things in real life, we would do a realistic painting, but we're going to do a zoomed in abstract painting. So it's your painting and you can choose whatever colors you want. But I want you to really look at the shapes of this, for instance, a grapefruit, and the way it has light and shadow. And I want you to think about how you can use color and shape and line to create this type of interesting composition of that central line down the middle and radiating lines as it goes around. Here is a kiwi, which is a common fruit, and looking at it really close up with all the hairs and the seeds can be really inspiring to the artist, the same way a aloe plant can be really inspiring. Having that center focus and radiating lines that come out for the composition is one of the compositional elements we discussed. And so that is part of a cabbage. Look at the beautiful change in light and shadow of the green to violet, and think about that corner composition radiating out and how Georgia O'Keeffe made her spiral from the bottom radiating up. And so these are all different ways that you can take common objects like a pencil sharpener and compose them in a way that Georgia O'Keeffe composed her paintings and create a zoomed in abstract painting. So I hope this gives you a little bit better idea of maybe some of the subjects that you might want to use for your painting, and the idea of using those compositional elements and applying them to these common objects. And so let's look at some more macro photography.